musicians. We are a rare bird. We are an endangered species. Now, why do I say that? Well, man, more and more as technology takes over, AI, the low amount of gigs that there are now, man. There used to be a time where, I talked about it with Tom McDermott from Rick James Band, and before he joined that band, man, he was playing in top 40 bands all the time, man. And I remember a time when they were top 40 bands, and you could work, 5 nights a week, man. Economy was decent. It didn't cost a lot of money to rent a place, and drinks were cheap. I can remember places would have dollar beer night and stuff like that, and you could smoke in the club, so people would be smoking and drinking, and if you were in a band, you could make money. You could play Bryan Adams and Journey, and Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, and what else did we used to play? We used to play a little bit of Zeppelin, and it was the top 40. That was what you called top 40. Glass Tiger, wasn't that a band? You play all that stuff, man. And one of my gigs after I left playing Busch Gardens, right before I left LA, I was playing in a top 40 band, and I was making $250 a week, and I thought that was good. I thought that was good, but man, those gigs are all gone. There's very few top 40 bands, and here in Florida, it's jacket weather today, so I'm bundled up a little bit, man. It's cold, but man, here in Florida, everything is just solos and duos. And man, I started out when I was a kid playing solo, playing acoustic and singing to get the attention of the ladies. And it's okay, but man, it's nothing like playing with a band. Playing with a real band, a real drummer, a real bass player, and creating something. The top 40 thing, the top 40 band is, recreating the sound of the record. That was always what you tried to do. And we had those, back in the day, we had those Boss pedal boards where you just stick the pedal in the slot. And so you'd have like 6 slots, and you'd have a distortion pedal, a tuner, and you'd have a chorus pedal, because if it was the 80s, you had to have a chorus, and a delay pedal, and that'd be about it, man. That would pretty much cover what you needed to do on a gig. We didn't have hundreds of pedal options, but now that all those gigs are gone, and COVID did away with a lot of it. COVID killed a lot of clubs. Man, it damn near almost killed Nashville. If it weren't for people, I don't know, a lot of people talk, bad about the guy that owns, Tootsie's and several clubs in downtown Nashville. But man, that was one of the guys fighting the mayor and trying to get him, say, look, if you're sick, stay home. If you're healthy, let us work. People need work. There wasn't enough. The city took a ton of COVID money, but they didn't give any. Nashville's government did not give any money to the unemployed musicians outside if you were able to navigate the system and get unemployment. And so there were a lot of guys that had nothing. No gigs, no work. Clubs were shutting down. BB King's was on its last legs at that time, and that was one of the few clubs at the time there you could go hear R&B and hear some different music and some great musicians in there. And that was the death knell for that. Never to ever open again. And, but now with technology, with AI now, musicians are going to become an even rarer breed, and real musicians with the fakery and trickery that I've talked about on this channel, that's going to be gone as well. Are we all going to be reduced to just playing by ourselves in front of our phone and posting it on the internet? I mean, look, I've had my time in the sun. I've been up on the big stages. I've played a lot of cool places, done a lot of cool things. I don't feel bad for me, but man, feel bad for the kids. They're getting painted into this corner to where, look, there's a lot of YouTube influencers or guitar players that some of them moved to Nashville and never play a gig. Never play a gig in a town where there, in any night of the week, there's 200 guitar players there. Now look, I get it. If you're making enough money off of YouTube, you don't need to go work for $175. I get that. I get that completely. But man, there are plenty of benefits. There are plenty of shows where you could guest and play a song. And with these guys posting everything every day, every moment of their lives, that if they were to play something like this, you would definitely hear about it. But the reality is, I just don't, I won't watch any of those guys. I won't watch anybody who hasn't done it, because there's a big difference between what you can play in your living room or sitting in a chair and what you can play on stage. It's two entirely different worlds. And you can't always believe what someone plays in front of the chair. It's kind of like, everybody sounds decent in the studio, especially now with technology. But what can you play when there's no backing tracks and it's just you in a room, faced with your nerves, faced with whatever's going on at the moment? Maybe you don't feel great that day or whatever. That's the true test of a musician, is the day in, day out of actually playing live, man. And so us old timers, us old guys who made our living playing live, playing in front of people, we are a rare and dying breed. And that is a very sad thing. I'll be in the car driving my daughter, and a song will come on the radio and she'll light up, and it'll be something that I really like and she really likes. And I think about how great music was and all the great musicians that the world had. And she's not exposed yet to the garbage that's being portrayed as music these days. And I can't help but get a tear in my eye when I think how she'll never get to experience what I experienced, going to see some of the greatest performers in the world, and it only costing like $8, $10, $15, $12. Man, it's a sad, sad state we're in. And so, more and more, it's just trickery and tomfoolery in the world, and overpriced tickets to see garbage and crap. And man, it is a sad thing. And while I'm walking, I'm looking at this pond over here and making sure there's not a gator trying to get warm in the sunlight, because man, it is cold. It is very cold right now. And when it's cold, man, they don't want to be in that water. They want to be outside the water, soaking up as much sun as possible. And they are not. Unlike musicians, They are not a rare breed. I've been seeing them all over this neighborhood, and it is something else. But man, I tell you what, it's a sad world when more and more everything you watch, you know, the news, whatever, you just have no idea what is real anymore. I just at the point now where I just don't even watch any of it. I just ignore it all and keep focus on the day to day. And if I want to hear some music, I'll just pull up something from my past, man. It's sad. It's sad that that's the world we live in now. But that is more and more reality as real musicians become more and more less. And look, this is probably a huge reason why people like watching my channel. You know, every now and then I'll edit a video and put in some jump cuts and have words popping up on the screen and stuff like that. And I'm just doing that to mix it up, because some people respond better to that message. Maybe the younger cats watching these videos respond better to that. And so I want everybody to get the message, man. This is not just a message for the old geezers, because it's the young people. It's the young people that can make a difference and, you know, grasp reality, you know, keep real music alive. It's up to them, really. You know, we've paid the price. You know, us old beat up musicians, we've paid the price in life. And, you know, we're at the point where we're winding down, and it's their job to get out there and do something real, you know, to keep music real, to keep music alive, to not be an endangered species. You know, it's a terrible world when you think that real art made with real hands and real heart and real soul will be endangered, will be no more. That is a terribly sad existence. You know, somebody once said, it's like, you know, modern music sounds like two computers, you know, humping each other or something. It's sad, man, because people that are young and don't have anything to relate to as far as what music was really like, who haven't gone back and listened to the classics and the old stuff, they don't know what they're missing. They have no idea. And that is a sad reality. They have no idea how great we had it. Was that Whitney Houston song? Didn't we almost have it all? Well, we had it all, folks. We had it all, folks, and guess what? That's all, folks. It's a strange world we live in, and man, things are an awful lot different. And I'd like to say that, like to be able to say that things are better, but they're not. They're really not. You know, it's up to you young guys out there, man. We're gonna pass the torch to you. If you choose to go one path, you want to go to the real path and keep it real, or do you want to go on the other path and take the easy way? Take the easy way home or the long way home? Man, it's going to be much more rewarding if you take the long way home, but man, there's no guarantees in life, so I can't blame anybody for wanting to try to make it. That's all we're trying to do. But man, it's a sad state when real music is an endangered species.